It's a subject that could be embarrassing for couples to talk about and causes a lot of frustration: infertility. The problem, however, is more common than you think, and sadly, most couples trying to conceive that can't are turning to dangerous and health-damaging methods. That's because they haven't heard the chiropractic message. So why don't we turn to Dr. Dennis Kraft so you can learn a little bit more about what chiropractic can do, and if not for you, then for someone desperate to have a baby. Dr. Kraft?
I want to talk to you today about one of the most disheartening things a family can go through. There's nothing worse in life than wanting to have a child and being told that you can't. This happens way too often in our society. What causes infertility? There are many reasons, but fertility obviously is the function of the hormonal system and the central nervous system. These two components need to interact with one another seamlessly in order for conception to occur, in order for the entire gestation period to go along smoothly. I've had the privilege of working with many women in my practice, many families, men and women together, who've had the unfortunate news that they are unable to conceive, and yet through the course of specific chiropractic care, of treating vertebral subluxations and in dealing with the hormonal aspect, the neurological aspect of it, we have been able to help these people conceive when they were told that they couldn't. This falls in contrast to some of the more significantly dangerous medical interventions that people are willing to go to. When people want to have children, they're sometimes willing to go to any extremes to make that happen, whether it be hormone injections, which oftentimes obviously leads to multiple births and things of that nature. We hear this on the news all of the time. Whether it be egg transplants or in vitro, in vivo or fertilizations. All of these can be extremely expensive. They can be extremely damaging. They can be extremely life-altering in the event that something goes wrong with those. It's not minor intervention by any means. So what do we do as chiropractors to allow this to happen? I can tell you that the autonomic nervous system plays a critical role in the, as I say, the conception and the gestation of an infant. Why is that? The autonomic nervous system controls every internal function of the body. It's the brain's communication pathway to every cell, tissue, and organ within the system, including the hormonal system. The testicles have a neurological supply to those. The ovaries have a neurological supply to those. The uterus and the cervix have neurological supplies to those. If anything is interfering with this neurological supply, it's not operating at its fullest. Maybe it's operating at 90%. Maybe it's operating at 50%. Maybe it's not operating at all. But by locating and correcting these autonomic disturbances, we can oftentimes reprogram the body to function the way that nature or God intended it to unleash the innate ability within the body to make that happen. What affects the autonomic nervous system? Well, our lives do. All aspects of our lives are perceived through our autonomic nervous system, whether it's the things we hear, the things we taste, the things we see, the things we smell, the things we experience are through our autonomic nervous system. And we live these through three different dimensions. The first is the physical dimension. And there's positive things that we can do for the physical dimension, and there's negative things we can do. If you're an exerciser and you exercise regularly, which helps to stimulate the immune system and the internal functionings of the body, the circulatory, the respiratory, the muscular, all of these are going to be benefited by good posture, good exercise, obviously minimizing traumas. Those can be extremely important to reducing subluxations. Good physical exercise, good for you. Bad things, poor posture, whether it be sitting at your desk all day, affecting the posture and creating subluxation patterns can be extremely detrimental. Obviously, accidents and things of that nature. You need to see your chiropractor to have these addressed if you're interested in helping your body to conceive. There's the biochemical aspects of our lives. So many things that we do for our lives are detrimental in a biochemical aspect, whether it's the things we eat, with our typical American diet being so acidic in nature. We eat so many refined foods with the sugars, with the bad fats, the trans fats, the omega-6s, and high excess can be extremely detrimental to us. The artificial colorings and preservatives and dyes can be extremely detrimental to our autonomic nervous system. We're in a constant state of defense because our body's working so hard to counteract the toxicity that we're putting into it. And by the same token, if we're eating a good diet, good whole foods, minimizing the amount of processed foods that we consume, drinking plenty of water and nutritious beverages, those are good things that we can do for that autonomic nervous system to help to increase the body's innate ability to function. And then there's the emotional component, and it's equally as important, and we normally don't give it its due, but there is good stress and bad stress within our lives. If your child goes out and hits the winning home run in a baseball game, we get that euphoric feeling because of endorphins and enkephalins going through our body. These are good neurotransmitters that helps to stimulate our immune response, that helps to stimulate our autonomic response, all aspects of our body in there. By the same token, if your life is full of anxiety or negativity or depression, you've been told you're getting audited by the IRS, that's obviously a very bad psychological response that's taking place. We get the opposite. We get adrenaline going. We get cortisol, epinephrine. We get into a fight-flight mechanism, and the body is not in the realm of conception when it's in that fight-flight mechanism. We as chiropractors are going to work hard to balance all of these aspects of your life, to work with that autonomic system, to work with the both sides of it, the sympathetic and parasympathetic, or the excitatory, inhibitory, so that we create that balance so that the functions are operating at their optimum in all aspects of your life. We're going to talk to you about diet. We're going to talk to you about stress reduction. We're going to talk to you about proper exercise. I've had the privilege of helping dozens and dozens of families conceive. I've had families that were told they were infertile and were married for 17 years and gone through multiple adoptions because they couldn't conceive. And within a very short course of chiropractic care, suddenly they had a child of their own. It happens frequently enough that I get numerous referrals from people coming in simply because they were told that they couldn't conceive. It's not a miracle. It's the way the body was designed. Yes, life is a miracle, but conception doesn't necessarily have to be a miracle. There are things that your chiropractor can do to help you. I hope that if you've been told this, or you know that somebody else has been told that they can't conceive, I hope you at least take the time to go into your chiropractor and see if there's something that can be done to help you before you go through all of the perhaps damaging medical procedures, or give up and say, I'll never have a family. That's my gift to you. I hope you take that into consideration and go see your chiropractor.